Traders, welcome once again. This is Dr. MINDEYE speaking. It's weekend, and without wasting much time, let's quickly go through these trades. These are all of the trades I took this week on Euro USD, and every one of these trades was also sent to my channel or mini app users, and not just sent as a setup, but limit order, the entry, the exit, the take profit, and all of that. And there was a follow up, letting them know when to go break even, take profit, partial, and the rest. I have both paid and free subscribers, so at least I send two free signals to the free subscribers every week, and up to five to the paid guys. And this week we have no single loss. Last week there was no loss too. Last 2 weeks and all of that. People used to wonder before I started offering this signal service this year. People used to wonder when I post my charts. I'll just post a history like this or something like this, showing even last week and everything. People used to wonder, they would be like, oh, this is back testing, this is not real. You cannot trade like this without making losses. Until I decide to show the framework behind it weekly, not just show the framework, but carry everyone along, let them execute the same trades I am executing. And they're surprised how I'm doing it. It's no magic. The framework is what I'm about to explain to you now. I'll first of all turn off my MINDEYE indicator here. I want to just show you exactly why I took these trades. I had to break even and 3 take profit. I also had one trade on USD CHF. So the first thing I did was checking my COT terminal. There are a lot of things I want to say in this video, but I want to be very quick simply because this is the second video I'm making. I made one before, it was 28 minutes. I was very detailed in that video. Unfortunately, from minute 16, the video went blank and it came back from minute 24. So from 16 to 24, that's about, is it 10 minutes of my voice? You just be hearing my voice, but the screen is blank. So I said, let me quickly do another one. And this one, I will not be as detailed as that one, but I would maintain the framework. So the framework is simple. At the beginning of every week, I want to know what the hedge funds are thinking, not thinking, what they are doing. Usually I love macros. I want to know data. I want to know what is happening. Usually I am to check sites like IMF, check fiscal policy, check for interest rates, the consumer price index, and even so many things that I need to check just to know which economy is currently doing well and where investors are looking to move to, and think like the banks. But then I observed that the hedge funds are also doing the same thing. They even have more advantage and more information. They use platforms like Bloomberg terminals, which cost about $35,000 a year. So I decided, oh, I'll be following their footprint, let them be doing the macro work, and I will check what they are doing and then use their data to frame my bias for the week, a long-term bias, not short-term. My short-term bias is with my indicator. So I checked the COT. This is, let me bring my COT terminal up. This is it. This is my COT terminal. We're currently on 15 minutes time frame. That's why it's not showing. So if I switch to the weekly, because the COT is updated once a week, and I kind of impute the 6E here, which is the formula for Euro futures, and I allow it to show up. It's going to display here exactly what is happening on Euro futures while I remain on Euro USD. Another way to do this, if you do not want to be switching here, you just go to Euro futures chart and it will show up. But I want to remain on my Euro USD chart and view what's happening. I turn off the comparison. If you watch last week video, you would know what comparison is all about. It is simply seeing the retail and the commercials, which are here. I turned it off. What is more important are these datas that are here. There are so many datas to look at when doing COT, but these ones I have done the calculation and I brought these exact ones that are needed here. All that is needed is knowing their current net position, their current change. How did they change? Did they change from negative to positive or positive to negative? And the delta, which is the total, if you minus the longs from the short or the buyers from the sellers, everything was the current total. So what is here now? The previous week before last week, you would have, if you watched last video, you see exactly what happened there. So last week we had exhaustion. They were still bullish on Euro USD, but then they were closing out some buys. And to close buys, you need to enter sales. You know how the system works, right? So that became an exhaustion for me because those buys and sales that they were closing were worth billions of dollars. So it was showing exhaustion in the remark here that I built for it. So it didn't mean that Euro USD is bearish. It meant that they are currently closing out buy positions and sales are coming in. So there might be a spike down, but if my MINDEYE indicator, which is a bias tool, does not agree with it, I will not just start selling. That was why last week you see I took about 2 to 3 buys and 2 sells, if I'm not mistaken. Then this week, these were last week net position. This week they added 16,000 plus buys, which is what billions. And then the change last week they were at 5.39% and it jumped to 12.89. I was expecting it to become negative, it became positive. Here's an amazing thing. The delta last week was negative. This week it is now positive. That's a momentum. That's a continuation buy. So looking at this, I already framed my bias based on data. It's now left for me to look at price. So for the week, the the euro futures is bullish. So I will now have to use price to know how to follow this price. There's another thing I also showed last week that when this green is very thick, it means it is bullish momentum, and if this gray comes up, it means exhaustion is coming in. So you see this green, it's momentum and all of that. So what did I have to do next? Now another thing you need to quickly know is that if euro futures is bullish, DXY has to be bearish for euro USD to buy. The base currency needs to be very strong and the quote currency needs to be weak. Same thing with every other pair you trade. If DXY, which is the USD, is stronger and Euro futures is weaker, I will be selling it aggressively. So you need to know that in back of your mind. Another thing you need to know is that for a buy to start in the market, there needs to be a sell first. It is why you hear things like buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, previous day high liquidity, previous day low, previous week, endorsement, Asian high, Asian low. The whole reason is simply because market is currently bullish and it wants to continue buying. Or let's even say the market is currently bearish and a bullish move is coming in. What is going to happen? It will sell first before it buy. In the process of selling first, it's going to grab a lot of liquidity. Or let's even use this same scenario that it's bought to the upside and it wants to start sell. Let me get another tool. I need to quickly explain something here before we move forward. I'm trying my best to make it very simple. It is a liquidity concept, but I want it to be more like I'm speaking from the hedge fund perspective. So if there is a new day and it's a buy day, and let's say here is Asian range. For the market to buy, it will have to first of all sell down. What you need to understand is that this sell is sponsored by buyers, not sellers. The goal is to lure people into selling, probably from different zones. Those who will use sell stop here, those who will wait for this support turn resistance or breaker block, those who will use this QM or whatever to trade. are in this market. So the goal is to lure them into selling and then the market will buy. So our own goal by using all of these data is to join them at this point, not to be joining the retail traders. Do you get it now? So whenever the market wants to sell, it will buy first. That buy is sponsored by sellers to lure people into the market, and then it will sell. If it wants to buy, it will sell first, thereby luring people into selling, and then it will buy. That's why for every week, if it's a bullish week, it has to be bearish first to look for a nearest strong zone before it start buying. If it's a bearish week, same thing. This is a weekly time frame, and you will notice the market was bearish until it gets to this zone. Until it gets to this zone, and you start seeing a rejection to the upside that it wants to buy. However, that's not my approach that I used, but I'm just explaining some things that are behind my approach and the framework behind what I trade. Um, Time would not permit me. I wish that video didn't have an error. You would have learned a lot in that video. I showed so many things there. Hopefully next time. I edited it. I wanted to post it that way, but my conscience did not allow me to. So this very one I'm not editing. I'll just post like that. So after knowing the overall bias is bullish, and then what I said is simple. Since the overall bias is bullish for the week based on hedge fund, what I'm going to be doing is whatever my MINDEYE indicator says is what I'm going to do. If it says sell, I'm going to look for sell because I know for this buy to start, the market needs to be bearish for even if it's Monday, Tuesday, and then the buy start Wednesday, that's fine. Or if it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the buy start Thursday, that's fine. Or if the market decides to be bearish all week and the buy start next week, that's also fine. So I said whatever my MINDEYE indicator says sell, I will sell until it says buy before I will buy. This is not just, in case you want to know, the MINDEYE indicator is not just a random bias indicator you find out there. It was built based on my technical approach. In the first video, I showed some of my students' results who traded this week, and we didn't have a conversation. There is no group chat. They don't use MINDEYE trading indicator, but they took exact trades that I took this week. Some even made more money than me. The same bias. So this is not a random indicator. It was built based on my technical approach that I came about a few years ago and refined until I decided to make it easier. So I can just turn it on, use it, and all of that. Including the timing lines. Let me go straight to 15 minutes or even 5 minutes, whichever time frame you prefer, including the timing lines. So let me quickly turn it on. I do not want to waste so much time. I don't want this video to get to 20 minutes, but if it does, no problem. The week started here. All of these were last week, last 2 weeks, and the rest. And every one of these trades was executed. You can check my channel. It will be in the description. Last week, the week started here, Monday. And what did I do? I sent this signal to my MINDEYE mini app users to take advantage of this quick sale. And if you are not using a zero spread account, unfortunately, you might not be in this trade because there was no drawdown, just touch and reverse. The original entry point would have been here, but I did refine it. This would have been the original entry point, but I did refine it to what we have, and I got this. It was for a 1:3.5. During the first timing window, there was no trade, but during the second timing window, a trade came in and 1:3.5. It was a sell day. Now, while I'm still selling, I'm looking at structure and I'm putting it in mind, looking at higher time frame structure too, where the buy will most likely start. Now, the next day became a sell day too. I do not disobey my bias, even though structure says it's bullish. If my bias says sell, I will sell inside a bullish market. Maybe one of these days I will explain the framework and the reasoning behind that to you. So the next day was a sell day. I sent this also. A few of my students, of course, had their stop loss here and their take profit here, and they did 1:4 from this trade that went back to hit my stop loss at break even. Why? Because of the day time saving, I mean daylight saving and all of that. I know the spread are currently high, so usually I don't take above 10 pips stop loss, but I had to take 14. This is because I'm sharing this trade with other people who are also taking it. So I didn't want to have my usual tight stop loss, so they would not make loss in this trade as a result of tight stop loss, because I do not know the account type they are using. Personally, I use zero spread. So this came to 1:3 and then reverse. So I was able to quickly take advantage of this. Let me quickly, I'll have to quickly go to my channel now. I want to scroll as fast as I can. Let me show you every one of these trade, and then I'll come back and resume from here. Let's go over there now. The channel is Telegram is opening. So that was how this trade, it ended break even, actually, not stop loss. It ended break even this second trade, and that's it. So my Telegram has opened. Okay, straight to my channel. Oh, this is my mini app that I was deleted. A new one has been set up, and if you're in my channel, you get an update. So this this week started from February 2nd. Let me scroll back to February 2nd. Oh, this was when I updated the COT um, terminal. I updated them about our COT and what we're expecting for the week, and a trade setup has been shared. I updated them here. The trade setup was shared via my mini app, and here's the sell from Monday. What's happening? Why is it not clickable? Maybe because the Telegram was frozen. I can't really tell why. But this was the first sell from Monday, and then Tuesday. Oh, this was about my um, I do not understand why this is not clickable. I thought as much. So this was the first sell from Monday, and here is it. Got to target, take profit, and my other entries passed the target because I didn't have a take profit on that one. And then this was Tuesday, of course, based on popular demand, on people asking how do they get my MINDEYE trading indicator and my COT terminal indicator. So I had to update them that it's now available. And then for mentorship, usually I do mentorship once a year, and it's usually open January to April. But I didn't open it January this year, so I'm just opening it in February, and it will be opened February 10th. Today is 7th, in 3 days' time. And there is a fee, and it will close by May, and that will be all for the year until 2027. So that Tuesday, I sent an update on that. And this was the trade that came back to break even. The first sale and then the second sale that I just showed to you. This trade came back to break even. And that's the setup. This was Monday, this Tuesday, and the trade. Quickly, this is the buy, which I will explain to you shortly. And then the entry, as you can see here. And this was the next trade for Euro USD, first trade, second trade. Oh, this was not Euro USD, this USD CHF. USD CHF got to take profit, and then Euro USD also got to take profit, which I was about to update here when I discovered my Telegram account was frozen based on reports, or I don't know, whatever it is, but I was so shocked. And this is one of my students that February 3rd, we never analyzed together. He does not use MINDEYE indicator, but he has the bias based on technical analysis and our timing. And he got this trade. And what else he got to take profit is this is his take profit. And what happened the next day, he also got the same buy as me. And this buy he closed out because according to what I covered here, based on our timing and bias indicator, he saw that if he does not close this buy, the next day is going to be a sale and he will lose money from the buy. So he closed out at $50 profit. And then the same sell that I took on Thursday, he also was in it and made money. So that's it for that. And then for Euro USD, I think it was the last trade I sent to my terminal before this account was deleted. We are currently, frozen. We are currently working to restore it. This was the Euro USD trade, and this was when the setup was, the signal was sent as a limit order. This was when it was sent as a limit order, and it got to take profit. So back to trading view now. You can see that. So let's continue. This trade came back to break even though it did 1:3. I partialed out before it came to break even. I always partial out after 1:3. So it was a sell day. The next day became a buy day. And at this point, I was like, okay, it has not gotten to the higher time frame zone that I want. But is the buy about to start? I said, okay, let me risk it because maybe the buy is about to start. The sell is done. And the market did sell. If it was a sell day, I would have caught the first sell from this timing zone and the second one from this second timing zone. But because it was a buy, I had to follow. I follow my bias strictly, no matter what. I will say something about this bias when I'm talking about USD So it tapped my entry. It did 1:1.8, which was at this point. But I was at the gym. As at when I came back, it was retracing. So I allowed it get to this point and I closed out because I know the next day is going to be a sell day. So what happened? The next day became a sell day. I took this first sell, which you saw in my channel, and then this second sell, which I sent to everyone to take advantage of. And this one was for 1:4. This was for 1:3.5. And this was the same sell. This same day we had a TP on USD for 1:3.6. Friday I did not trade because my Telegram account was frozen and my mini app, so I was working with the team to restore it. But if I had traded, of course, I would have flipped my bias at this point. That's something for another class. Maybe when I get the time to explain it, when to flip bias. It can be a sell day, but you'll be buying. But how do you know that the bias has flipped? So that we'll probably have to do it in another video, or is exclusively for those who have the indicator or my students. So let me leave it at that. So it won't look like I didn't say goodbye or good night or a weekend to the market. I actually took a sell from here, no drawdown, this snipe to this point. I will attach the screenshot to this video. So on USD we caught a sell. The sell was for a certain day. I think this day was Wednesday. No, this day. The sell was for this day. We had the sell coming from here, but it did not trigger until this day. It got triggered. The sell was from here initially, but it got triggered on Thursday. And immediately it got to take profit, market reverse. Do you know why? Because Thursday was a buy day. So I do not trade USD actively. If not, I would have been buying it. So you notice the moment it gets to take profit, it reversed because that day was a buy day. And it just fulfilled the sell from the previous day, because I just told you for a buy to happen, a sell needs to happen first. And this is where I would want to talk about what I say I want to talk about. And that is, the MINDEYE trading indicator bias does not mean the whole day is going to be bullish or bearish, even though 90% of the times it's usually bullish or bearish the whole day. But it is just to tell you, based on what I have taught my students, the setup I taught them to trade, you can see 4 or 5 of them every day in the market. You can see 2 buy, 2 sell for the setup. So I built this bias tool, the framework, to help them know which of the setup to focus on. Instead of seeing buy setup, you trade it, you see sell setup, you trade it, just trading randomly in the market, you have to focus on one side of the market. So if it's a buy day, even if the sell setup is showing up, do not sell until you see a flip. You should keep buying. Whenever you see the buy setup, buy. So the goal is to see your setup, focus on one direction, and do your risk to reward. And that's all. You do not care what's happening in the market. You see how this 1:3.6 got hit, and then the next day the market reversed. Imagine you were thinking this is going to get to this point. So as important as entry, that's how important exit is. and all of that. So that was how we caught this sale on Thursday. Got to target 2, so we got almost 8 hour on Thursday alone. And this week where there's no, from my end, no loss was taken. Break even about 2 trades, and for every of those 2 trades, I updated the people I sent it to for them to know when to leave the trade and all of that. And that's it. That's all for now. I do not have any other thing to say apart from this. If you want to reach me, you can reach me directly from my Telegram channel. There's an option for direct message. So you check my channel description and you see my Telegram link. My Instagram link is also attached to that place. And I think is my Facebook there. I'm not sure, just Instagram and the channel. So you can always reach me there. And for the mini app that was down, we are currently working on another one and it will be live before the new week. We now have a signal room access where you get to access your signal directly from the terminal, and we now have a COT terminal access dashboard where you get to see the COT. But this is exclusively for the premium plan. And then this one, the free guys can access signals, the paid guys, everybody can access. And if you want to see the results of all trades, you just go to performance results. If you want mentorship, this is where to get it. If you want account management, this is where to get it. We have a customer support always ready to attend to you. And if you need to reach me directly, they can reach me directly, and then we talk on whatever you want and we do just that. So that'll be all for now. Do have a wonderful time. I'll see you again when I make another video. I do not promise whether it's going to be this weekend, but until another video, we'll see again and learn from each other and talk. Take care.